Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody out there in social media and TV land. Welcome to Taboo Talk with Ray and Steve. I'm Ray Amanat with Taboo Talk, of course, here in Port Richey, Florida, which this weekend is not going to be so sunny. We got a cold front coming in, but hopefully next week for Thanksgiving we'll be back to sunny Florida. Joining me is my co host, Mr. Steve Reed, somewhere in an undisclosed safe house because he's a little whiny chicken uh, in northern Texas. Welcome, Mr. Steve.
Wow. Wow, Ray. I really appreciate that. That's just how you doing, Ray? Are you done with your Chinese virus?
Yes, it's pretty much in my system, out of the system, and I'm back on track.
Good.
Getting the energy back, and you, of course, had your fourth or fifth surgery on your ankle. So,
Yeah, that was number
just so
4.
our viewers know, a little disclaimer: Steve is going to be a little bit drugged up. He'll be a little loopy, so forgive him for his loopiness.
You know,
But hey.
Ray, as long as you say that this is an opinion-based program, and based on my current condition, I don't know what's going to be coming out of my mouth. So,
Even better. That's more in line with taboo talk. I'll do my
absolutely.
best to go beep if you start using any foul language or anything like that.
Oh,
Just
mercy.
give you a little heads
So,
up. Beep,
all right.
Steve.
Hey, Ray,
This is a children's show.
we've got a
Beep.
fun. That's really annoying. If I was closer to you, I would take you out. So
Beep.
anyway, we've got an exciting show. We've got an amazing guest. He's great sense of humor, veteran, etc. It's going to be a little on the lighthearted side today, which is a little bit different from what we normally do, but we need to take just 4 or 5 minutes and talk about some of the things that have taken place in the past few days.
Dun dun dun. You mean the elections?
The election and the fact that
It took
this
them this long to come up with results?
well, Chucky still has control of the Senate, which we're
Boo.
not going to talk about how that happened. There are a lot of different things that took place, but the Democrats do have control of the Senate or maintain control. But I heard last night that the Republicans do have control of the House.
Yay. Ding, ding,
So
ding, ding,
why do
ding.
why do you think that is good for us?
We don't have to look at Nancy Pelosi. Hopefully, she goes into retirement.
No, she's not. No, she wants to be the ambassador to Italy.
Well, just she's just trying to take the wealth that she made off of
Yeah, no, we're
all
not
of
gonna.
the backroom
Yeah,
deals
we're not gonna go
that
there.
she had, and
We're not gonna go there.
we
uh,
should go there. I hope that the new House of Representatives subpoenas her and does to her and Chuck and everyone, including this president of ours, the same thing treatment that they did to Donald Trump. They deserve it. They need to get the
exactly.
same treatment.
So, in other words, if the Republicans now hold the gavel, that means that we've got the committee chairman in all the different committees. Yes, I love your rubber mallet. That is good, Ray. I like that.
I have a
But
gavel.
that means investigate, 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 subpoena, etc. for the next 2 years. So I'm very excited about that. All right, but there was another big announcement last night, and I don't know if
Hmm.
you heard anything about this or not. I say it was a
Uh,
big announcement. Is it?
I stayed up all night watching it. It was a pretty lengthy speech about Donald Trump saying he's running for the 2024 presidential
Yes.
election.
Yes. And today is not the day, but I will tell you as we go along going forward why I believe he is still the best person for that position. So It has a lot to do with the presidency, but it has a lot to do with the world situation as well.
I agree. I
So
mean, there's a
anyway,
litmus. There's a whole list
yes,
of
yes,
things that we know President Trump, when he says he is going to do something, that he followed through with it and did it. Whereas a lot of the other past presidents were all talk, 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 and when they
yeah,
got into power, nothing ever happened.
exactly,
Uh,
exactly.
he's a shaker mover. If he says he's going to do something, he's pretty much going to do it.
And I'm looking at it also. Let's say he was building, a 30, 40, 50-story building in downtown Manhattan, okay? And for some reason, the construction project got delayed and he couldn't complete the project. So he's taken 4 years, or will take 4 years away from that construction project. So now we will be giving him an opportunity to come back and finish that construction project. So
Absolutely.
that's one of the ways that I'm looking at it. He started it. He's going to come back in. No holds barred. He's anyway. All right, Ray. Why don't you tell our viewers, our listening audience, about our guest today?
Okay, Steve. Today's Taboo Talk is a little bit more, as you said, lighthearted. We are joined with Mr. Larry Allen, who's the director of North Texas Wreaths of Honor. Every December on National Wreaths Across America Day, their mission is to remember, honor, and teach, is carried out by coordinating wreath laying ceremonies at Arlington National Cemetery, as well as more than 3,400 additional locations in all 50 United States, at sea and abroad. When I was in St. Louis, we had Jefferson Barracks as one of the cemeteries that we would always go to for ceremonies, and they do a bang up job doing this, where it's very emotional for families that have lost loved ones. So if we can get, is he back on? Yay! Welcome to Taboo Talk, Larry. Do you want me to call you Mr. Allen? Larry
No,
Allen? Is
just
there
call
any
me Larry.
title?
No, just Larry. But just don't call me late for dinner.
Okay.
Now, Mr. Allen, Larry, was it Sergeant, Master Sergeant, Your Highness? What was your official title when you wore the uniform?
I was a corporal, an E4, and people in the military know what an E4 is. There's 9 levels, and I was an E4
Okay.
corporal, and I actually made E4 in 13 months being in the Corps, and it's typical for a corporal to become a corporal somewhere around 4 to 5 years. So I blew the doors off of it.
Wow.
So,
I'm impressed.
well, there's reasons why. I mean, I think they saw that what I was doing and the vim and vigor I put into it would lead towards being a good leader, and so
Okay.
that's what I did.
So it wasn't anything to do with the bribery that you put in place.
No, because that check bounced.
Oh,
Well, we appreciate you for joining us today, Larry. Can you share with our audience how Wreaths Across America first got started?
I sure can. In 1992, a gentleman named Merle Worcester uh, owns a Christmas tree farm and a wreath manufacturing company. And at the end of 92 season, he had 5,000 wreaths left over. And as a child, he had been to Arlington National Cemetery. So he thought, well, maybe I can donate them. And he called the senator of Maine, Senator Snow, and said, hey, I'd like to donate these. Can you help me at Arlington National Cemetery? And she said she'd get back to him. And he figured, well, it'll take her a week. But literally within 15 minutes, she called back. She had talked to the director of Arlington National Cemetery, and he said, bring them on. So through friends of his that own trucking companies, they loaded up these 5,000 wreaths and took them to Arlington National Cemetery. And the American Legion, VFWs, Boy Scouts, they all met them there and unloaded the 5,000. And then they laid them on the graves in the oldest section of Arlington National Cemetery because they wanted to get people to walk through that section because it was the least path that was taken when people came to visit. So that's literally how it got started.
And Larry, what did you say that was?
19,
what year was that?
1992, and
1992.
It went on through 2005, where he donated just to the Arlington National Cemetery, and then
wow.
In 2005, a picture of the wreaths laying on the headstones at Arlington National Cemetery, covered in snow, hit the internet and literally exploded. And in 2006, he had 160 cemeteries calling him saying, "Hey, we want wreaths to do the same thing." And then in 2007, it went to 260. And it was at that point in time, Steve, that he had to separate the wreath part of this that was going out to cemeteries, and he had to form a 501c and take it outside of his company because it was too much of a conflict.
Wow, that is cool. Well, Larry, I hate to do this. You're on a roll and you're sharing some really great information, but we need to take a brief commercial break. We're going to share some information about another nonprofit that is a fabulous program, and Ray's going to share with us a little bit more information about Heroes in Action.
Hi, welcome to Heroes in Action. I'm Ray Amanat, founder and creator of this training system. I originally made it so that everyone can train for free. We have programs for kids, for women, families, and businesses. I'm an author, speaker, and educator on everything that has to do with violence and bullying prevention education. If you'd like more information about who we are and what our programs are, please go to our website at heroesinaction.us or give me a call if you have any questions at 727-314-2534. We hope to see you here to train.
Ray, thank you for that. You know, I've had the pleasure of working with you in the past briefly, but you gave me some great insights on my own personal self-defense and protection. But tell us a little bit more about some of the things that you've got coming up. Specifically, I understand you've got a cruise that's coming up. Can you share with us some insights on the cruise?
Yes, the cruise is going to be in June. June 8th through the 12th. It's a 5-day, 4-night cruise. It's a fundraising cruise to help benefit or support Heroes in Action. We're going to do training, but if you're not interested in the self-defense training, but you would want to still support Heroes in Action, then just come join us on the cruise and have fun with all the other activities. We would love to share what we do as far as empowering people to not be victims of any form of violence or bullying. We were at a school earlier today, this morning, where I worked with probably about 50, 60 students altogether at a school that is mainly for people that are disadvantaged or have disabilities. And I had a blast working with all these kids and the staff as well. And in order for us to continue providing our services, we need to raise money. A big part of that is the fundraising cruise, but we also take donations, where if you use this QR code, it'll take you directly to our donation link on our website, where you can make a one-time or recurring donation. Our goal is always to get about 4,000 people to donate $5 a day, which will cover all of our expenses, travel expenses, everything, to go anywhere in the country and teach for free.
Ray, it won't take you very long at all to meet your goals at $5 a day.
Well, I hope you're right. I mean,
I think
we're
you meant
building it.
$5 a month,
Oh yeah,
not $5 a day. But you'll take $5 a day. There's no question there.
$5 a day would be awesome, but yes, $5 a month, the cost of a cup of coffee at Starbucks.
I'll take your word for that.
Well,
That's just black coffee, and that's the little thimble size. So anyway, so Ray, thank you so much for what you do to help your community there in Florida, but also for your willingness to travel and take your message of personal defense and anti-bullying, all of those things that you do. It is a very it's a noble cause, and I appreciate what you are doing. So folks, go to Ray's QR code. I'm going to show that one more time. Scan the QR code, go to Ray's website, sign up, donate on a monthly basis. If you want to do $5, $10, $20, $30 a month, I know, Ray, you would accept that.
yes,
The faster the anyway, you want to have a nationwide impact by people being able to donate. So, and then on that website, once they're finished donating, they can check out some of the things you have on there about the cruise. So,
absolutely.
and that's June next year. So, all right, let's bring our wonderful new friend Larry Allen back online. And Larry, you know, you've started teasing us with a couple of different things about Wreaths Across America, how they got started, but and you started tantalizing us with how it started to grow very rapidly. But my understanding is it's not just about Arlington National Cemetery in D.C., or Arlington, should I say, Arlington, Virginia, but there are cemeteries literally across the country, but also around the world. Can you fill us in on some of the information there as well?
I'd love to, but first, Ray, I'm going to go to your website. I'm going to donate personally to you, and I'll do it on a monthly basis.
What a guy.
Thank you.
Okay, but like I said, he started in 1992. It went to 2007 when it exploded. There's some 2,700 plus cemeteries today. Back in 2018, for the first time, they actually shipped wreaths to Europe. And on my bucket list is to go to Europe and go to Normandy to be able to lay wreaths, because my uncle was at Normandy on D-Day, and he lived through it, and he passed away in about 2002. But I want to honor him by going to Normandy and laying a wreath in his honor there. So that's that part. But in 2020, 2021, at the DFW National Cemetery, we needed 48,500 wreaths to cover every veteran out there. And Ray and Steve, not only did we get the donations of 48,500, but we laid them on December the 18th, 2021. And how long did it take us, Steve, to lay 48,500 wreaths?
With me and my broken leg, I'd still be doing it.
Yeah. Well, I'll cut to the chase. We had almost 6,000 volunteers. It took us a little over 2 hours.
Wow.
That's amazing.
It was phenomenal. But the sad thing is we need 51,000 this year for the DFW National Cemetery. So
I mean, that I know this organization is very emotional for people that have lost loved ones. How did you get involved with this?
Okay. Well, one quick thing I just noticed as the banner runs across the bottom where it says Wreaths Across America, you have an extra C in there. If you can edit that to take the extra C out, that would be great. But you asked how I got involved.
Yes.
It really goes back much farther. I had the desire to honor a Marine that was with me when we were on our way to Vietnam. I think you have some slides of that. Don Greiger and I were aboard the USS Ogden. That handsome man was me, by the way, in the uniform. Yeah, but if you go to the next one, the gentleman that's standing up at the top out of the hatch there, his name's Don Greiger, and he was a 240-pound, 6'2" Creek Indian out of Milwaukee, and he and I are aboard an Amtrak, and that's what the Amtrak looks like there on the right. It's a land and water tracked vehicle that literally goes into the ocean and can go up into the back of that ship there on the left. That's an LST, and you float in. That LST can literally put water into the back and have it back in, sink a little, so you can go into it. And once you go into it, then you go and park. Well, we were aboard the ship, and on December the 2nd, we hit a storm, and an LST is a flat bottom boat, and flat bottom boats do not do well in heavy seas. So it's rocking and rolling, and our tractors broke loose. And the Navy, in their infinite wisdom, sent, 20 to 22 Marines out there to dog down every one of these tractors. And Don and I had just done 3 of the corners of our tractor and was working on the last one when the tractors behind us slid together. They're 22 tons apiece, right? And you get 2 22-ton vehicles sliding together, and it sounds like a train wreck, and it scared us both. And
Hello? We've got a mic feed problem, Larry.
Larry, we're losing you.
Being the big
Larry, we've got a mic feed problem, so if you could check your connection to your mic.
Actually, I think we've got an internet connection issue.
Is he frozen?
Yeah, he's frozen. So let me. I'm going to keep my eyes on the screen to see if he's coming back. But Ray, the story that he was sharing was this friend of his. And I'm not going to go into a lot of the detail, but his friend, as these vehicles are in this transport, the seas were pretty rough and they weren't secured properly, and unfortunately, Larry was walking between 2 of these vehicles, and his buddy was walking behind him, and the tether lines that were supposed to be holding them in place. Larry had just gotten out from between 2 of the vehicles, and one of the tether lines apparently broke, and it slammed. The one vehicle slammed into the other vehicle, and
Oh my
unfortunately, his
gosh.
friend was killed instantly. And
Wow.
he tells the story also. I'm going to go ahead and go back to the screen, and in the meantime, I'm going to go back to the screen and I'm going to show you a slide and to show you one of the other things. So these are the vehicles. These things were actually on another transport vehicle, and that's what was slamming into each other like this.
Sure.
This is a grave site of this friend of his, and he actually went online and started doing some tracing and found where his fund had been laid to rest, and it was up in Wisconsin. And he took a trek up to Wisconsin to go and honor his friend at his gravesite. So, Ray, while I'm doing this, if you can send Larry a text and let him know that we've lost him again, and let's see if we can get him back online.
Sure.
While you're doing that, I'll tell a little bit more of his story. Here he comes. Okay.
Hey,
Larry, are you there again?
I'm here. The great technology.
There you go.
I
Well,
don't know what happened.
Ray, or Larry, what I just shared was the story that you shared with me a couple of months ago about how your friend unfortunately was pinned between 2 of these transport vehicles, how you had just barely gotten out from there, but then you tracked down to find out where your friend was laid to rest.
That's
And this
true.
is what you're seeing on the screen right now. My understanding is this is his gravesite in Wisconsin. Is that correct?
That's correct. Correct. It's in Milwaukee.
It's in
And
Milwaukee.
I
Okay.
found it through the help of the Milwaukee Sentinel.
Oh, how about that?
I sent them a letter to the editor, and I got a call back, and after about 3 or 4 days, and they said, "Hey, we found it." And listen, you don't know what that meant to me.
Oh, I'm sure.
And since 2019, when we found it, I've been sending 2 wreaths to my cousin up in Milwaukee. He just happens to live in Milwaukee too.
Yeah.
He was a Coast Guard guy, but we forgive him for that.
Oh,
I
wait
know,
a second.
I know. But he goes out there every year and takes those 2 wreaths and lays them on Don and his father's grave, who was a World War II vet. And he films it for me and he sends it to me, and
That's
I
great.
put it on Facebook. But literally, if you take 10 seconds, that's the difference between me being here and not being here. Because Don had sent me forth about 10 seconds earlier, and he come behind me, and boom, he was killed instantly. And it's very tough. That's the reason I didn't go to Vietnam. They turned our ship back to the Philippines, and from the Philippines, they unloaded his body, sent him back to Milwaukee, and everybody aboard that ship was redeployed back to Okinawa. And that's what happened to us. So I didn't go, but I ended up, the good news is I ended up becoming an instructor in counter guerrilla warfare up there. And I've never been to Vietnam yet. I'm teaching these young Marines how to handle counter guerrilla warfare. So, but Don, I can't tell you what it means to have found him and be able to cover his grave every year.
I know that is a very emotional thing for you. Every time you tell the story, I know you get choked up.
Oh, I do. Trust me,
And
I do.
and I'm gonna guess that have been those thoughts in the past. Why him and not me? And those kinds of things. So let's touch a little bit on that. But Larry, we do need to go to another commercial break, and
Sure.
I want to share some things with our listening audience about a product that I ran into about almost a year ago, and it is called LifeWave. The company is based out of Southern California, and what LifeWave does is they're a biotech company, and they actually developed a product that is a patch. It is a little non-transdermal patch. I'm gonna show this to you real quick, just so that you can see exactly what this little wafer thin patch that you wear on your body. You can put it on your body any place you want to. And what it does is it activates different copper peptides in your system, and they tell your body to do different things. Some of them are telling your body to get out of pain. Some of them are more energy. Some are better focused, etc. So I'm going to just run through a couple of real quick slides. This patch that I just shared is what we frequently call our stem cell patch, but it tells a copper peptide to reactivate your stem cells. I love this little slide. I figured out what I, excuse me, figured out what I want to be when I get older, or when I get older. I want to be younger. So the X39 patch actually gives you more energy. It helps improve your sports performance. You're going to get better sleep, dramatic pain relief, wrinkle reduction, so much more, scar reduction, and actual youth renewal. Now, what do I mean by that? It literally is activating your stem cells to turn the aging clock backwards. And yes, we have documentation, we have proof that this amazing technology will, in fact, stop or slow the aging process, and it actually takes you in reverse. So I'm absolutely amazed. I'll give you one real quick anecdotal story about me and my use with the patches. About a year and a half ago, I had my first of 4 surgeries on my leg, and I was on pain meds for about 10 days, almost 2 weeks total from when I had the accident until I was past surgery. Well, that was longer than I wanted. Well, the second and third surgeries, I only had to be on the pain medication for about 3 days after the surgery because I was wearing these patches. And this time, I started using the patches almost immediately after the surgery, and I was able to get off of the opioids within just over 2 days. So that's one of the things. Now, I still have a little bit of pain. I'm not going to lie to you. I still got a little bit of pain, but it is significantly better than what it would have been without something like this. So if you want more information about LifeWave and the stem cell patches or any of our other products, we would love to share some additional information. Here's my email address, and in a moment I will scroll Ray's email address up here also, so that if you want to get in touch with Ray in another way, you can as well. So Ray,
So we got a question from one of our viewers about LifeWave.
yes.
And he's like, what if you can't afford it for a little bit? Or if you can afford it for a little bit, will you experience any type of withdrawal symptoms?
No, actually, you don't, because well, let me rephrase. It's going to start you going back to where you were prior to using the patches, because what's happening is it's reversing the aging process. But if you're no longer activating those stem cells, which help reduce the aging process, you're just going to go back to where you were. Pain may come back. You may have less focus. Your sleep may not be as good as it was while using the patches. So you're not going to have any withdrawal symptoms. It is not a drug. It's not an injection. It's not a pill. There's nothing that's in it. It is simply reflecting your body heat back into your system, telling these copper peptides to go back to work and reactivate your stem cells. So that's a
Sure.
great question. Great question. Well, Ray, let's bring Larry back in, and let's continue the saga of Larry and Wreaths Across America. So Larry, you explained why Wreaths Across America is important to you, and your story about how you lost your friend and how you found your friend through the Milwaukee Sentinel newspaper, etc. So, what else are you seeing? What are some of the other benefits of your particular program of Wreaths Across America and what you're doing here in North Texas?
Well, my objective, we're a sponsor group under Wreaths Across America, and
Okay.
we're actually under the DFW National Cemetery Wreaths Across America director, who is Mary and Chris Bush. They lost their son in Afghanistan in 2010, and in 2011 they got involved in putting wreaths out at the cemetery. In the first year, they had 50 people and 250 wreaths. Okay, and that was in 2011. And like I said, last year in 2021, we laid 48,500 and had 6,000 people. So you can see the exponential growth from the time that they got started. And what our group does is we solicit donations, and you'll see the sign go across the bottom in a little bit on how you can donate. But a wreath's $15, and we need help to be able to fund those wreaths to put them on the graves. And there's 51,000 we need this year. We're a little over 35,000 donated, so we're some 17,000 short. And viewers out there, as you're watching this, if you have a veteran in your family right now, or if you've got a family member that was in the military or was in any of the wars, World War II, World War Korea, Vietnam, the war on terror, do them an honor by donating a wreath in their honor so that we can lay it out there. Now, they may not be buried out there at the DFW National Cemetery, but when we lay the wreaths, some of the people know who they're laying it for. Let's say they're laying it for Ray because he was a veteran, and he's not buried out there, but we say, "Dear Sergeant Jones, thank you for your service. We're laying this wreath in honor of Ray Amanati because he was in the Cold War or whatever." And then we thank them for their service and we say their name because, Ray, I bet you're not aware of this, but are you aware a veteran can die twice? Yeah.
How do you mean?
The first time is when they stop breathing. And the second time is when we stop saying their name. And our objective, our group, is to honor everybody at the DFW National Cemetery by saying their name twice. Once when we thank them for their service. After if they say their name, thank them for their service. Then we say their name again. And we will do that every year as long as this program's going. And I expect it to go on even long after I'm gone. And hopefully somebody will pick up the mantle because I'm going to be buried at DFW. And I want somebody to come out and say, Corporal Allen, thank you very much for your service. Thank you for protecting our Constitution and defending our country against enemies, both foreign and domestic. And so that's what we do. We just need people to, as I say, belly up to the bar and donate $15 or donate as many wreaths as you can when you see the banner go across. Capture it and then go out there and help us. We have until November 28th to make this happen. And so we can't do it without you, the viewer, to help us make that goal.
We're just a couple of weeks away from that deadline. So, Larry, what we've done is we've put this QR code. So if you're watching this on your computer or tablet, whatever the case is, you can actually take a picture of this QR code. This QR code will take you directly to the donation site that we've had scrolling across the bottom of the page. So copy this or take a picture of this QR code. Go to Larry's website, go to the site for donations, and buy not just 1, 2, 3, buy a dozen wreaths to help fulfill the hopes and dreams of Larry and the entire organization to be able to contribute and honor our fallen veterans, no matter what age they were, no matter how long ago they fell. This is what a wonderful way for us to be able to honor those who went to battle and fought for us.
And Larry, I'm gonna let you know I've never heard that before, that a soldier dies twice. That was very powerful. Please, to all our Taboo Talk viewers, take a picture of this QR code and go make a donation. Let's keep this going and carry the mantle. You know, Larry's not, like he said, he's not going to be with us all the time. We hope you're with us for a long time, Larry. But we do need people to be mantle bearers and take it up to continue what you've been working so hard to do. This is very powerful. Thank you.
Well, I'll make this challenge for those that donate. For the first 300 wreaths that are donated between now and the 28th, the first 300, our North Texas Wreaths of Honor is going to match those 300. That will make it 600 wreaths.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And so I also urge everyone that's going to go make a donation, send that to your family and your friends and ask your neighbors, hey,
absolutely,
you've got veterans out there. Let's honor them, because on March 20th, 1969, I don't know if you know it or not, but I signed a piece of paper and it said the U.S. government can do anything with me they want to. And there, as a Marine, they were sending a bunch of us to Vietnam, okay? And so we took that oath to defend the Constitution and protect our country from enemies. And I still believe that today. I'm 73, and I guess if the president called and said, I want you to come back in, I'll do that, as long as, one, he doesn't send me through boot camp again. And number two, he puts me in something like logistics or well, I was going to say intelligence, but that's probably not going to be one of them. But if they put me in logistics, I can help. For over years, I've worked logistics. Or they can put me in KP. I can peel potatoes.
I don't think you have too much to worry about at boot camp. I don't think it's the same as what it was when you went through it back then.
Oh, I know you. They don't put you in timeout anymore like they did. And just real quick, Steve.
Yes.
This coming Saturday, the 19th, I'm actually going to be having dinner with 3 Vietnam veterans and catch this, my drill instructor from boot camp back in March.
Oh, how cool is that?
Oh, listen, I can't tell you. It's I ran into him 4 years ago, and it's the darndest thing you've ever seen. I'm like, I'm not sure I like you because you tuned me up a couple of times when I was in the Corps, so in boot camp. But it's going to be a great deal. So, but we really need donations, and we desperately need donations because we're not going to make it if we don't have people out there like your listeners that will come and donate. And we have a back office on our website, and I'll know if you donated because they give me an opportunity over on the right-hand side to click on it, and I can actually send you an email. I won't see your email address, okay, because that's protected by Wreaths Across America, but I can take and thank you personally for your donation. It allows me to do that. So go out there and make that donation, and then I guarantee you're going to get a thank you from me.
That is great. You know, Larry, when we first met several weeks back, you had said something that really intrigued me, that Wreaths Across America also has people that are using your program as a fundraising program. So
Yes,
you're
they are.
looking for funds, but you can actually help other organizations do some fundraising. Is there still enough time for people to take advantage of that program? And why don't you describe to our audience what the program entails?
Okay. Let's say, well, first of all, let me just tell you, my first fundraising groups happened to be junior ROTC groups out of 3 different high schools. And they always need money. They're going on maneuvers somewhere. They need a new rifle for their rifle team.
Sure.
They need money to go to some kind of camp. If they go and donate and get people to donate, and I tell them, let's say they need $3,000, and there's 100 cadets. I tell those cadets, do yourself a favor. All 100 of you go out there and get 10 people to donate. And then there's a way that I'll know that it was part of their group. Then I'm going to give them $3 back for every wreath that they get donated. So 1,000 wreaths will get them $3,000.
Oh, that's cool.
And some of these groups need $1,000 or they need $2,000. But if they work with me, they call me, email me on my email address, and let me know they want to do a fundraiser. I can help them set it up, get it done, and help them fund it. If you're a Rotary Club, if you're a Lions Club, something like that, where you need money and want to work with me, we can set up a program. We'll define a start date and an end date because those are important. Because at the end date, then we tally everything that was done, and then I will give them a record back of all their donations, and from that, then we can tally how much money they're going to get, and then we'll cut them a check.
I'm going to guess that this can be an ongoing project for you, that it's not just during November.
Oh, absolutely, because right now, November 28th is the end of the campaign. We can't do anything after that.
Right.
And then in December, we lay wreaths. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, Steve, other than going out and laying wreaths, December, I'm taking time off because this past year, I've spoken to over 50 different groups, and I've probably put 10,000 miles on my pickup truck
good for you.
going to these people. And my wife would like me to be home every once in a while. With such a charming face, she just likes to see it more and more. But
Oh, mercy.
but I'm taking December off, and then January 1, this campaign starts
You're back
again.
at it. That's
Yeah,
good.
and what I told these schools, and I can tell the Rotary Club, let's say you have a fundraiser need for right now, and you need money in April. Well, let's start it in January. We cut it off in March, and then in April I can present you a check, and then you can come back later on in the year and say, hey, now we really want to get serious. So
Right.
you don't have to, and that's what some of these schools are going to do. They're going to take and do it twice a year.
That's a great idea.
Let's make July Christmas in July by doing a fundraiser.
Oh,
Right.
what a cool idea. What a cool. Okay. Now, does that other organization, whether it's a Rotary Alliance Club, whatever the case is, if they wanted to do a fundraising program and they're incorporating things with your organization, do
Right.
they have to receive that contribution back from you, or could they just say, no, it's yours? Oh, Larry, did we lose you again?
Yeah, he
Oh,
froze.
mercy me. Looks like we've got a frozen Larry, and it's still reasonably nice outside. So, well, Larry, I'm going to pull you out of the screen. So, Ray, we are
I,
closing in on the end of our conversation here.
I'm assuming that if whatever charity is doing it to raise money for themselves, that they would probably want to give back to Wreaths Across America.
Yeah.
So, yeah, let's share this QR code. People, please scan it. Let's help Larry out. Get some wreaths ordered. Share it with your family if you have a family member that's in the military. I'm sure they would love to be a part of this to be able to honor the soldiers that preceded them. I'm very excited. Hopefully we can get Larry to come back.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be an old pro at this. Well,
Oh,
he's
absolutely.
old, but he'll be a pro at it.
Well, the great thing is, and I don't have all the specifics on it, but this is a nationwide organization. So for you, Ray, in Florida, I'm sure that there are national cemeteries not too far from you. I'm sure there's probably one in Tampa, maybe two or three in your general area
Right.
where people could be involved in your area as well. So this could be a fundraising opportunity for Heroes in Action as well. So
Absolutely.
there are a lot of different things. So I mean, with some of the different networking organizations and different groups that you and I both are involved with, this is
Mhm.
certainly a great opportunity for us to promote other people and other organizations. And speaking of promoting other people and other organizations, Ray, I wanted to share your QR code one more time for Heroes in Action so that people can go ahead and donate to your organization so that you can continue to spread the word on personal self-defense, on anti-bullying, and really the feel-good message that you have and how you can really help people better prepare for whatever those things are that you guys can do. So it looks like Larry is trying to come back in, but he's not connected yet. So we're almost out of time. Ray, do you have any closing comments or?
Well, it was great having his insight on what he does and how Wreaths Across America got started. Larry, you're back.
Well, Larry's
I'm
coming back. There he
like
is.
being melodramatic, you
Yeah.
know.
I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
I know we have limited time, so we've got about 60 seconds left. But you have an event coming up December 17th. Would you like to tell our viewers what that's about?
Yes, December 17th, out of the DFW National Cemetery. We're going to be laying the wreaths that are being purchased for that. And anybody that wants to attend out there, please come out, get there before 10 o'clock in order to get a parking spot. But then check the weather before you come. Make sure you come prepared for the weather and wear good shoes, and then have a good time helping us lay the wreaths. There will be a flyover. Unfortunately, they'll probably have some blowhard politician out there starting it off for us, giving us the thank you. And then at noon, straight up noon, we will start laying wreaths. And if we have the turnout we did last year, some 6,000, to lay 51,000 wreaths, it'll take less than 3 hours. So best 3 hours of your life. Bring your children, bring your grandchildren, and let them witness it too.
Is there a food truck, or is there any,
No,
coffee or anything
no,
like
it's
that?
a national cemetery, okay?
Right.
And so it's a very important piece of property, and we don't want to have food trucks and people like that out there, because it's a sacred ground. This is sacred ground. And so
Sure.
now if you're coming on bus or you're coming in your car, bring your own water, bring your own coffee. Just police up after yourself when you get through.
Absolutely.
We don't want trash across that cemetery.
Absolutely.
These men and women died to honor our country, and we want to honor them by not throwing our Starbucks coffee cup on the ground.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. Well, one last time, I've got the QR code back up. So, folks, take a picture of the QR code and feel free to contribute to Wreaths Across America. And Larry, I understand you're a nationwide organization. So if you're not here in North Texas, you can get involved in organizations in Florida, in St. Louis, in New York, in California, etc., throughout the country. You've got great representation, literally coast to coast. Larry, thank you so much. I cannot express my thanks for having you and you taking out some time to join us today, but also for all the miles that you've been putting in, driving all over North Texas and sharing this wonderful story. So make sure that you take some time in December and reacquaint yourself with your wife. I know she'd appreciate it. So
one last thing, though, Steve.
Please.
You asked me if it was a Rotary Club or a Kiwanis, could they just donate the money back to us? That would be great and wonderful, but they are a service organization too. No, I expect them to take that money and put it into a project that they're wanting to do.
Gotcha.
So I would rather them do that. Now, I won't turn the money down, but I really challenge them to take care of something else, whether it's Toys for Tots or feeding the homeless or
that's excellent.
I'd rather do that.
Well, Larry, we had one of our listeners that just chimed in and she said, thank you for your service.
Well,
and not only your service when you served in the Marine Corps, but your service that you're doing today to honor our fallen veterans. So,
well, you can tell your viewer, do you know why I did it? I did it for you and you, Ray, and everybody out there, because the military is 1.5%. 1.5% of the total population.
Yeah.
I'm a 1.5%er. We're the ones that allow you to sleep at night, go to Starbucks, play your games, drive to a movie or whatever you're doing. It's because of people like us.
Yep, absolutely.
That you're able to do that.
Absolutely. All right. Ray, any closing comments?
Please follow us on Facebook, go to YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube page, like, share, and comment. And we will try to reply to your comments in a timely fashion. The more you talk about Taboo Talk with Ray and Steve, the more viewers we get. We are going to be syndicated with the OBBM network, and we're excited for that. So more news on that coming up in our next episode of Taboo Talk with Ray and Steve. We'll
Gentlemen,
see you guys.
It's been great.
Thank you.